Hi, I'm Randy Gage, and they've asked me to talk about the two most frequently asked questions I've gotten for the last 120 days. And they are this: Randy, why did you get back in the network marketing business? And question number two, of all the possible companies you could have joined, what made you decide to join Agile Enterprises? So let's begin with the first question. Why did I get back in the business? Well, to be honest, I never wanted to be out of the business. Frankly, 5 years ago, I was working as a distributor, growing a network, having the time of my life. I was excited. Bonus checks were going up. Leadership was coming in. Things were going amazing. And you know what happened? The company I was with went out of business. Another casualty of undercapitalization, which you see with startup companies all the time. So it wasn't that I wanted to leave the business. I didn't have a choice. So that happened 5 years ago. I've been out of the business a few years, but of course I've still been consulting, still been training people, doing my seminars, writing my books. And along the way, here's what happened. I've been working with some of the most top leadership people in the network marketing industry on a consulting basis. And I will flat out tell you this: I have created more MLM millionaires and MLM multimillionaires than anybody alive. And I'll stack that against anybody. I mean, you send in Mike Wallace and the 60-minute camera crew, you come to my office, we'll start taking out files, and I will show you company after company after company after company where I've trained the #1 worldwide or number 1, 2, 3 worldwide. I've got companies where I train the top 10 or top 20 payout leaders worldwide. So what's been going on? For these 5 years or so, I keep creating these millionaires, but I haven't been getting residual income on that, of course. And if you know anything about me, you know I think that's a crime against nature. So, of course, about 2 years ago, I really got over the hurt and the disappointment and the frustration of having that last company go out of business. And 2 years ago, I started looking, okay, where's a program for me? Where's a program I can build personally? Let me get back in the game and be sponsoring people personally and teaching them and training them and growing the network that I love to do so much. With 2 years I looked, and I looked at company after company after company. And you know what? I couldn't find one to join. I'd find some. I liked the products, but I thought the compensation plan was lousy. I had other ones. I tried the products made me sick. I had some that I just felt the management wasn't there. I felt like they didn't have money. Like I didn't think they're going to be here a couple years from now. And I was looking for a situation where I could create wealth. Not just an income. I have an income. I'm a multimillionaire, okay? I didn't join the business again because I wanted to make $5,000 a month. You know, honestly, if I wanted to make $5 grand a month, I'd get a paper route, okay? I joined the business again because I wanted to create residual income cash flow machine, something to create dramatic legacy wealth. So what I was looking for was the company I thought would be the next billion-dollar company. So again, I tried this company, that company. I couldn't find all the factors right. 2 years this is going on. Got really serious the last 6 months or so, where I'm really sampling products and reviewing videos and looking at compensation plans. And I happened to bump into Eric Worre at a generic network marketing event where we were both speakers. He asked me what's going on. I said, Eric, you can't believe it. I'm actually looking for a program to build myself. Almost 2 years I'm doing this. I haven't found one. He starts to laugh. He says, Randy, I'm doing the same thing. I said, wait a minute, Eric, you just started a media company. I know you raised $8 million, you're CEO. Why would you be looking for a network business again? He said, Randy, even with the money I raised, even as a CEO, they could never afford to pay me what I could make back in the business as a distributor. And I've got a company out of Utah. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it. I've taken some of my own money. I've hired an investigator. I've been doing my due diligence, and I'm checking it out. So I said, Eric, you let me know. If you really think it's the right, if this is the one, you call me and I'll be on the next plane out. He calls me up, Gage, get out here. I get on a 6 a.m. flight. I fly out to Utah. And it was on that plane ride there that I put a pen to the pad and really looked at the compensation plan. And that was the point that I really understood the leverage matching bonus. And when I got that, I was about hallucinating, okay? But more about that in a minute. So I went out to Utah. I met Glenn Jensen. I met Craig Bradley. I met the CFO. I met the international guy. I met the national marketing guy. I met the guy for Japan and other countries. And I just said, I think this is the one. I loved the product story, and I started looking at all the equations. Does this have what it takes to be the next billion-dollar company? Because here's what I think it's very important you understand if you're looking to create wealth. Let's, one of the things Eric likes to talk about is the categories you can put companies in. And I kind of follow his lead. I'd put them into 4 different categories here. 4 buckets, let's call them. Bucket number 1 is the airplane game and the chain letters and the pyramids and the travel cards and the gas cards, okay? Those things are the schemes. Nobody who's serious is going to pay any attention to them. So throw bucket number 1 out the window. Bucket number 2 is the big guys, the old school guys, the Amway and the Herbalife and the New Skin and the Shackley. You know what? Good companies, solid people, solid companies. They've been around forever. I think they'll be around forever. I have nothing bad to say about those companies. However, I didn't join them myself personally. Why? Because I think in a mature company like that, I believe you can create an income, but you can't create wealth. You know, I don't believe Mark Yarnell could join New Skin today and build a $300,000 a month bonus check. I mean, I think the ship has sailed on that. That's just my opinion, but I think in a mature company, if you say, hey, I want to get in the business and build a nice check, a bonus check of $5,000 or $10,000 a month, I think you can do that with a category number 2 company. But again, that isn't what I was looking for. Now, category 3. This is the bucket of companies. They've been around a while. They might be here 10 years, 15 years, but they never really hit it big for whatever reason. And of course, they still tell their distributors, yeah, we're 12 years old and we haven't even hit exponential growth yet. But the truth is, they're not going to. If they were going to hit it, they would have done it already. Okay, company just doesn't languish around for 15 years and then all of a sudden hit exponential growth. That doesn't happen. So, and there's a million reasons why it doesn't happen. Maybe the products don't have traction, comp plan is not well, they don't have strong management, it's just the wrong product at the wrong time. I mean, there's just a gazillion reasons that could stop that from happening. Obviously, I didn't want to be in a bucket 3 company because there's no wealth to be created there. What's the first, the final bucket? Category 4, that's the new company, the startup company that actually is going to hit that exponential growth curve and become the next billion-dollar company. Now, nobody's a fortune teller, nobody knows for sure, but there's clues. If you look at the companies that did make it, if you look at the firms that hit the exponential growth, there's certain criteria that have to be met. There's certain factors there, and that's what I looked for with Agile. That's what I found with Agile. So if you ask, how did a guy like Randy Schrader, a guy like Eric Worre, a guy like myself, a guy like Antonio Adair, how did these 4 multi-million-dollar producers all find our way independently to the same company and believe that it's the next multi-billion-dollar company?